Republicans in three different swing states are fighting back against this BS with Donald Trump being taken off the ballot in Colorado. Let's check it out.
People into thinking that all of this is happening because they're just so compassionate and they care so much about the world. Joe Biden says, this is who we are. Fake compassion by a fraud president who only cares about power and money. And he deserves what is coming in this retaliation. And Arizona State Representative Cory McGarr is one of the three lawmakers drafting legislation to boot Biden off the ballot. He joins us now along with our friend Dennis Prager, the founder of PragerU. Gentlemen, good to have you both on. Representative McGarr, you know, what we've seen what he's done to this country. We know he's behind what they're trying to do to Trump. You know, I personally don't think anybody should be kicked off the ballot. It's a free country. But it does kind of, you know, this is what they asked for. This is what they're doing. This is what they're going to get.
No, and actually, I would completely agree with you. Ideally, I would personally like to see Donald Trump and Joe Biden go toe-to-toe again, quite frankly, because I think it'd be hilarious how much Trump is going to win by. So it would be fun. But at the same time, we've gotten to this place where Republicans are just constantly on the defense. And so the radical left and the progressives are constantly attacking us, and we always are on the defense. This is a way of actually going on the aggressive with this one.
Yeah, Dennis Prager, your thoughts?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. The Democrats are always coming at us, and we're always on the defense. So we need to fight fire with fire. They want to remove our guy off of the ballot in Colorado. We need to come right back at them and try to remove their guy off the ballot in certain states, because they're going to have to explain themselves. They're going to have to defend that move. They're going to have to defend it. So you know what? You did to us, we're going to do it to you. Eye for an eye. That's my personal opinion, because otherwise they're going to keep getting away with this nonsense. They're going to turn this place into a communist country.
Thoughts on this?
Well, the congressman really hit it on the nose. This is actually, as I said in a speech at TPUSA to thousands of students earlier this week in Phoenix, this is the darkest time in American history since the Civil War. There's nothing really close. And we have, for the first time, for example, political prisoners. The day they called it an insurrection, after January 6th, I said they would use the way the fascists in Germany used the Reichstag fire. And I'm not comparing them to Hitler or anything like that. I'm just comparing the use of something that happened.
Sure.
And they used the Reichstag fire as an excuse to suppress liberty in the Weimar Republic in Germany. And likewise, well, it was not the Weimar Republic then. It was right after the Weimar Republic. And that is what the Democrats are doing with this. They use the term insurrection to suppress normal liberties in the United States of America and to arrest people for no good reason, to have political prisoners for the first time in America. When I was in my 20s, I went to the Soviet Union to work with dissidents and political prisoners like Andrei Sakharov, whom I didn't meet personally but worked on his behalf. And I remember thinking, what a difference. The Soviet Union has political prisoners, but we in America don't. And I can't say that to my own children today.
That's very sad, because now we have political prisoners over January 6th, this so-called insurrection. You know, instead of talking about the riots of 2020 with all the buildings being burned down, they don't talk about that with Antifa and BLM. But here is an article from Breitbart, as I was just showing in the video. Republican state reps from Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania are drafting legislation to remove Joe Biden from the ballot. Now, let's get into it a little bit. Three state representatives are Pennsylvania Rep. Aaron Bernstein, Georgia Rep. Charlize Byrd, Arizona Rep. Cory McGarr, the one we just saw. Now, this comes after the Colorado Supreme Court ruled Tuesday in a 4-3 opinion that the United States Constitution's insurrection clause blocks Donald Trump from appearing on the state's presidential ballot. It says, we are joining forces to introduce legislation to remove Joe Biden from the ballot in Georgia, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, the lawmakers told Breitbart News. The absurdity of radical Democratic judges removing Donald Trump from the ballot in Colorado will be a stain on the American political system for decades. By their very own interpretation of the law, Joe Biden is 100% not eligible to run for political office. See, they're saying, well, yeah, it's just an opinion. He hasn't even been convicted of anything. They just think, oh, okay, well, he was involved in this. Is our opinion. He was involved in it. He incited an insurrection, not paying attention to the fact that he said to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. And he even came out on Twitter telling people to go home and to calm down. But anyway, Democrats' insane justification to remove Trump can just as easily be applied to Joe Biden for his insurrection at the southern border and his alleged corrupt family business dealings with China. I agree 100%, but we all know why they are terrified of Trump. Well, there are many reasons why. This is just one of them. They see the polling data. RCP average. Trump ahead 46.8% to 44.5%. And we look at some swing states here. Wisconsin, Trump is ahead. 45, oh, it's actually tied in Wisconsin. Pennsylvania, Trump ahead by 1%, 45.4 to 44.4. Nevada, Trump is ahead by 4%. Georgia, Trump is ahead by 5%. Arizona, almost 5%. Michigan, Trump is ahead by, this is the latest polling, he's up by almost 5%. Now, look, 2020, yes, there was a lot of BS that happened. A lot of BS with the mass mail-in ballots, the rule changes in the swing states, the Zuck Bucks coming in, infiltrating, the states with $419 million to get a hold of the election processes in favor of Joe Biden. The Hunter Biden laptop suppression, among various, those are just some of the things that happened. Tilted the election in favor of Joe Biden. Now, there's none of that this year. Joe Biden has had 4 years. He's going to have 4 years by the time the election comes. And people say how much of a disaster he's been. And this polling data shows where people are what they're feeling at this moment in time. It's a snapshot of where they stand. In 2020, Donald Trump did not lead against Joe Biden in a single poll. Despite all the shenanigans that went on, he still received 74 million votes and came very, very close, despite everything they threw at him, to fortify the election. He came very close, honestly, percentage-wise, in swing states. So they know that Joe Biden's in trouble. The people, they see the writing is on the wall, and I think I do want to see Joe Biden go up against Donald Trump because I think Joe Biden will get clobbered. I think Trump will win in a massive land. This is my opinion. I think it's a possibility Trump could win in a landslide. I'm not making any predictions here, but I think it is likely it's headed in that direction the way things are today. I'm not going to get complacent. You have to get out there and do your part and vote. But that's just my personal opinion. But they're going to try to throw everything they can at him. It's going to be chaotic between now and Election Day. So just be prepared for it. There will be more lawfare against Donald Trump to stop him from winning the election. And this is not about, they're trying to make him the nominee. That's a stupid argument. No, they don't want him to be the nominee. They don't want him to run the general because they're terrified of him. All this nonsense about where they're trying to drum up support so they can beat him in the general is complete BS. They wouldn't be trying to go after a guy this hard to make him the nominee. They wouldn't. They know he got 74 million votes despite everything they threw at him last time. They can't stop him. He just keeps coming back. So this is what this is all about. And Colorado is just the beginning. Even though he's not going to win the state, he lost it in 2020. pretty handily. So it's just going to set the precedent of to do the same thing in other states, as we're seeing California and New York trying to do the same thing. But hey, if you have to write them in, write them in. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.